Kitchen in Donegal, 2015.
What time did your brother say he'd be here?
Manus gets up early. He said he'd come once he got up.
I can't believe we've been in this house for a year and I'm just getting to hang the curtains. It's been a rough year. First Daddy with his heart attack and then me with my gallbladder. Sure, could anything else happen and I'd be in St. Connell?
Oh, don't talk about it. Just having this house built was a whole hang-on, waiting for everyone to come and finish. I never want to see an electrician or a plumber again. Everyone shows up when they want to get paid, that's for sure.
It seems like it was one thing after another. The leak in the upstairs bathroom that ruined the 2 ceilings. It was months before getting the plumber back, and he refused to admit it was his boys who drained it wrong. You know, these workmen treat women so badly. They're always acting like we're making up things. Well, I'm sure glad that it's all behind us. I feel like I can finally breathe.
You get yourself worked up, so you do.
Aye, and you're well laid back.
You have it for both of us.
Well, look at me. I feel aged, and I swear this house is drying out my skin.
Go on. You look beautiful. Well, we have our own little paradise here, so we do. Just look at that view. Oh, there's Manus now.
So what are you lovebirds up to this fine Saturday morning?
We were just talking about the year we had. Thank God things have calmed down. Thanks for coming. You're sparing me from a battle. It's great to have another pair of hands for this.
I can't believe you're finally hanging the curtains. It's not like you, Teresa, not to have everything ship-shape. You were so anxious to get into this house.
Well, everything costs money, you know. Finally, I was able to put aside some money to get these. Things aren't cheap anymore either. And I'm not one for changing style every year. When I like something, I like it for good. Right, Joe?
That's right. A wee practical woman she is. She's still keeping me.
Well, let's see how you can get hanging these. Get a move on.
We'll hang us up and you tell us where you want them.
For God's sake, you're putting a boulder up there. You're going to have to patch that and fix it.
Oh, take it easy, Teresa. Clap yourself on. We didn't even put it in. The screw keeps falling out.
That's very strange. Let's try a new spot. How's this, Teresa?
A little lower. No, we'll have to go higher. Higher. Over the mess you've just made.
Must have been a weak spot. Strange.
Looks good and strong. Go get the curtains, Teresa. We'll hang them up.
That's odd. Well, the wall should be solid. Never saw that before.
Sure, don't be saying anything. You'll work her up.
Yeah, but for a new house, that shouldn't happen.
Will you stop it? Let's just help her put them up. Say nothing.
You know, Joe, you have some cracks outside too. Maybe it's something to do with the rendering.
Mas, sure, you know yourself. All houses have structural cracks. Things happen. Don't be riling her up.
Hi all. It looks like I'm here at the right time. I'll have a cuppa.
You want one too, Granda?
Oh, please, sure, why not?
It's about time you were hanging them curtains. Jesus, I thought you were waiting for me to drop before you put them up. The house looks like an eyesore with nothing on them. You'd think no one lived here.
Enough, Mammy. Like I don't have anything else in my life to do but keep you happy.
Sure, I told you 100 times I would buy them for you, but no.
Aren't they lovely? I ordered them online.
They were probably a fortune. I told them you had some nice. They had some nice ones in Aldi 6 months ago.
Now you know Teresa likes what she likes, and there's no talking to her. She deserves what she wants.
What the hell is that hole in the wall? Did you do that, Joe? I told you, Teresa, to get your dad to hang them. No, you wouldn't listen. And look what you've got. No offence, Joe, but you need a professional when you're hanging curtains.
Are you forgetting Daddy had a heart attack? The doctor said he should be taking it easy.
Sure, he takes it easy all the time. I'm waiting hand and foot on him. Isn't that right?
Ah, yes, that's right. But look at that hole in the wall. That's odd. Did you use a drill bit?
We did, and it's up there now, nice and tight.
Well, I can come back and patch it for you if you like, Teresa.
No, Daddy. Joe will take care of it, don't you worry.
And then, how's the Wayne getting on? Has she all settled down in Dublin?
Roisin is over the moon. She sends me an email every night. She's been flat out every weekend with activities. She loves it, Daddy.
That wee girl will go far. She has a head on her, so she does. Studying for psychology. Well, I bet she'll be the next Dr. Phil.
Ah, we need someone in the family to sort out all our squabbles. There's no more going to the priest. You can't even find one here.
There's nothing wrong with praying and doing a novena once in a while to clear the mind and the head. A lighted candle always works for me.
Well, no, it's the scented candles to clear the head. And the cost of them. Everything's changing.
I'm using scented candles to calm your father down. And I'm telling you it works. Since his heart attack, no more watching crime shows and the likes. And no more standing out in the cold for hours talking to that Seamus Callaghan. Jesus, he could talk the leg of a donkey. That man has no sense. I told him if he wants to have a proper chat, he's to come in and sit down with a cuppa.
That man's a walking encyclopedia, so he is. And he knows everything that's going on.
He's got all the rumours too. You can't believe anything he tells you.
Well, he certainly does know what's going on. He's telling me they're going to put in a property tax. They're talking about it. God, the government just wants to put their hand in our pockets again.
No, Daddy. Remember, no talking about politics in this house. You're not supposed to upset yourself.
Oh, you've got to watch them, boys. I'm telling you, once them critters get elected, all they think about is how much they can get out of you. They cosy up to you, so they do, knocking on your door when they need your vote. And you'll never hear of them again until the next election.
Come on, we've got to get up to the co-op before it closes. We just stopped by to hear how Roisin was doing. Tell her we were asking for her.
I will do, Mama. Thanks for stopping by. And take it easy on now, Daddy.
That man will bury me.
Take care. See you,
Bye.
Danny.
Bye-bye now. Well, I should be heading out. Give me a shout if you need anything else.
Thanks, Manus.
Thanks, Manus. You're a dote. Much appreciated. Joe, we can't get Daddy excited. He had a scare, a big one. We all did. Don't you go riling him up, especially with politics. I know you think it's funny when he gets going, but those days are gone. He has to let things go, not let anything get to him.
Oh, that's easier said than done. You watch. Every time he goes back here, he'll look at that crack, and it'll get under his craw until it's fixed.
All the more you should take care of it as soon as possible. You're too easygoing. I swear you would let the roof fall down around you before you'd lift a finger.
I'm not that bad. Come on.
Who was the one that had to oversee the workmen that came in here? Tracking them down, fighting with them over the phone, waiting for them. And for God's sake, it was a full-time job. And then they would come in here and act like there wasn't a problem. That I was overreacting. No one wanted to take responsibility. Jeez, it still gets my blood boiling. I'm telling you, this country is going to the dogs.
God, you're as bad as your dad. You go from 0 to 100. You'll be next up in Letterkenny with a heart attack. Come on, let me take you out for a coffee. We can do your shopping after.
2016.
I didn't hear you come up to bed last night.
I was on the computer looking things up, and then I just fell asleep on the couch.
You know, you're not doing yourself any good staying up late and not sleeping properly.
And sure, how would you know, snoring your bloody head off? For God's sake, nothing bothers you.
Well, my snore never bothered you before.
Well, it's bothering me now. There, I've said it. You know you have a way of turning a good morning into crap.
Jeez, Teresa, I'm just worried about you getting your sleep. Can't a man make a statement in his own house? For the love of me, I don't understand you.
Look it. I need to find out why we are getting all these cracks. It's not normal. You keep telling me to ignore them, but how can I? I'm in this house day and night.
Teresa, I told you. I talked to John up the road. He's got the same cracks. It was a fierce winter, you know that. And houses get cracks. Everyone gets settlement cracks.
Well, it's a funny thing. I've been on this planet for 45 years and I don't remember ever seeing cracks like this. And we've had plenty of bad winters. Did you call the builder like you said you would?
I can't get a hold of him. His mobile's not on.
Well, go up to his house for God's sake. He needs to come down here and look at this. The cracks in the front of the house just keep getting bigger. When we went down to Dublin to see Russian for that parent weekend, I swear when we come back, the cracks outside were there. And it looks like someone had took a sledgehammer to it.
Teresa, I told you. It's the outside facial brick. All we have to do is patch it and paint it. And it'll look fine.
Like that looks fine. How many times have you patched and painted that and it still doesn't look fine? I'm telling you there's something wrong.
Look it. You have to stop worrying about this. You've wound yourself up again. You're cross. For God's sake. You're always cross. Is there anything I can do right?
You can call that bloody builder and get him down here. Listen, I've called the cement company and the fella come up here and says there's nothing wrong. Everyone says the same thing. It's nothing. Well, if it's nothing, why are things getting worse? The whole foundation is cracking too. Open your eyes for God's sake.
I'm telling you, it's a new build. It's settlement. These things happen. We live in a high wind zone and we're very exposed.
Look, Joe, I did some searching last night and there's a whole bother with building problems down in Dublin. People are having their floors buckling. They say it's the pirate problem. Too much pirate in the cement mix and the floors end up heaving.
Teresa, our floors are fine. I'm telling you, it's all very normal settlement cracks.
All right, Joe. Here's what I'm going to do. If you don't go up to the builder, then I will.
Woman, will you calm yourself? Russian's coming down today. And, well, it's not fair for her to come walking into this war zone.
War zone, is it? You haven't seen anything, Joe.
Well, you haven't slept in your bed for a week. I come home and nothing's prepared because you've been sitting on the computer all day and night. And this place looks minging. You're not yourself.
Well, then who do you think I am?
Someone that's heading for the nut house. That's who.
You know, you don't notice a thing. Everyone tells me, sure, everyone gets cracks. But you know what, Joe? It's not normal. Every door in the house has cracks in it, and all the skirting boards are shrinking. Tell me that's normal. I feel like there's a poltergeist in the house, and now the cabinet doors won't close properly. You don't notice things. You don't notice anything. Your head's in the clouds. I can't even tidy up anymore. It all gets to me, because I see it. I see it and I know it. And every time I try to get an answer, everyone looks at me like I'm off my head. The assessor came out and said it's fine. The cement people said it's fine. The last thing I need is for you to keep trying to humour me. For the love of God, do something. Just do one bloody thing.
Oh, if it'll make you happy, I'll track the builder down. Okay? There. That's that settled.
And when you see the builder, get the name of the joiner too. They're responsible for the doors and all the skirting boards. We shouldn't have to pay for second-rate crap and tell them we'll go to the consumer board if they have a problem.
Daddy, I made it back. Are you just heading out?
Well, I was, but I'll sit for a bit. Your ma sent me out on an errand, but I'll be right back. Go and cheer your ma up.
What's with the big crack outside? When did that happen?
Well, you know that weekend we came down to see you? Well, we come home and there it was. Looks like someone smashed it, doesn't it? And in the past month, the cracks are getting wider. But your dad says it's nothing. Just settling cracks.
So what's in the bags, Roisin? Anything good from Dublin?
It's me laundry, Dad. I figured I'd get some washing in.
That's right. You'll get the washing on, not me. I'm not your slave.
Jeez, Ma, I just got on the door. Who put your knickers in a twist?
Right, I'm away, so I'll leave you two alone.
What's wrong, Mammy?
I'm just tired. I'm sorry, pet. I didn't mean to bite your face off.
Mummy, I'm worried about you. Every time I call home, Daddy says you're on the computer or that you're sleeping on the couch. What is it?
I'm just worn down from this house. You know your dad and I worked so hard to get our own home. And then ever since it has been nothing but work. I'm exhausted by it. First overseeing all the workmen. That drove me mad, and now this. And everyone's telling me the same thing. It's nothing. Sometimes I wish I had just stayed put where I were. Used to dream about being in my own new home. You and your dad. That we would all be so happy. And now I've become a raving maniac. I go off my head at the drop of a hat. The least little thing has me in tears. And your dad drives me mad. He would let the house fall in and never say a word. And I wouldn't mind it, but any workman comes in and they treat you like you don't know what you're saying. They're all so bloody tran.
Sounds like you need a little holiday.
Your dad and I were talking about that. I've got a little set aside. We haven't had a proper holiday in years.
Just might do you the world of good.
I guess I'm not in the mood for anything, and I'm afraid I'll be bringing the mood with me. I try and get to sleep at night, and I'm worried sick. I get up and I put the computer on, and the next thing I know it's 4:30 and I'm still not asleep. It's been going on for weeks. Then I'm dragging my heels all day.
Oh, Mammy, you need to go see your doctor. He can give you some tablets for sleeping.
No, Roshi, you know I won't be doing that. You know how I feel about tablets.
But Mammy, sometimes you need to get help. Look you're not sleeping. You say you're worn out. You bit my head off. Mammy, this isn't you. Really, you should at least go and talk to someone.
So now you've taken up psychology courses and you know everything that it is.
See, Mammy, that's not you. That wasn't very nice.
I'm sorry, Roshi.
Look, Mammy, go upstairs and lie down. Take a rest. That's what you'd be telling me to do. Take your own advice.
Falling out with your father and now you. I don't even like myself today.
Go upstairs. I'll tidy up and start the tea. You'll feel like a different person.
Hello, Roshi. Here, come and give me a big hug. God, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Oh, Granny, it's so good to be home. Well, I think.
What are you on about, child, you think? What is all this carry on?
Mammy just went upstairs. She nearly ate my head off. When I came in, she and Daddy were having a big row. I could hear them yelling from outside. Daddy left and then Mammy fell apart. God, what is going on here? Every time I ring up, they both sound like zombies. Neither one of them ever wants to talk or tell me what's wrong. I knew something was wrong. I could tell over the phone.
It's nothing, pet. Your ma's all wound up about this house. She has so much riding on moving in here. And I tell you, it's hard work getting a house built. No one tells you these things. Why, it breaks up marriages in Coronation Street. Sure, anyone will tell you that. And now this crack out front, your mother is just over the top. She thinks it's some kind of conspiracy or something. I'll tell you, she is on that computer day and night, and it's making her do lally. Too much screen time. You know, computers can change the pattern of your brain and thoughts. Did you know that? Are they teaching those things down in Dublin?
I told Mammy she should go see the doctor. Maybe get some tablets to help her sleep. The first step is getting her to go and talk with someone. Is she talking to you?
That's what them young doctors do. They push tablets on you. If you want them, they won't give them to you. But if you stay in the office too long, they will pull a pad out and write a script. Everyone in the country is on tablets. Tablets for this and tablets for that. There's nothing that the church and a novena won't solve. Your ma should be up in the church instead of sitting at that computer on a Sunday morning.
Well, at least you can pray for all of us, Granny. Light a candle for me too, will you?
Sure, you know you're the first one I'd pray for.
Do you think their marriage is in trouble? You know they say sometimes when couples experience the empty nest syndrome, they split apart.
Don't you go worrying about that, for God's sake. Your parents are fine. They're just going through a rough patch. It will all sort itself out. You know your dad's well easygoing, and it drives your man mad. But sure, they're always like that, even on their first date. Didn't the car break down, and wasn't it your ma that sorted it all out? Flagged down the car and put the leads on the battery and got the car started. Your dad would have left that car and walked home. Your ma's a doer, your dad's easy going. That's the way it is. It's like their nature, like the scorpion and the frog.
What story?
You know, the frog who's trying to cross the river and the scorpion says, "Get on my back and I'll carry you across." And the frog isn't sure he should trust the scorpion, but he does, so he hops on the scorpion's back, and when they're almost across, the scorpion stings him. The frog is dying and he says, "Why did you do that?" The scorpion says, "It's my nature, you see. I can't change people."
Geez, Granny, you're going all philosophical on me.
Sure, I heard that in the church, one of Father Farron's sermons. See, you learn something if you go to church, and you don't have to go all the way to Dublin to learn it.
Granny, I'm going to keep insisting that Mammy go and talk to someone. At least deal with the not sleeping. I want you to do the same. Promise me you'll encourage her to do something about it.
All right, Pet, I will. I see no harm in it. She should be getting a check-up anyway. I'll mention it to her and keep on at her.
Thanks, Granny. Now, enough about Mammy. How's Granda? Is he feeling alright?
Sure, that man's in fine form. He'll bury me, so he will. He'll be here shortly. He can't wait to see you. He wanted to stop at the shop and get the paper, but knowing him, he's probably chatting with someone. I swear an errand that takes 10 minutes can stretch into an afternoon, and they say women can talk.
Hello, Granny. Are you on your own?
Hey, Joe. No, Granda dropped me off. He's on his way. He had to stop at the shop for the newspaper. That's all that man does. Reads the paper and watches the news. That's his life.
Where's Teresa?
She went up to take a nap. She's so out of sorts. Granny and I have been talking about it. We're going to encourage her to see her GP to get some help, at least for her sleep.
Good luck with that one. I've been telling her since we moved in here to go and see someone, but she won't. She just lets everything bother her.
Daddy, I think you and Ma need a holiday. Get her away for a bit.
Maybe so. We've talked about it. I have some time off from work. All right, I'll have a chat with her and see. I could use a change too. Sure, why not?
Good. So we're all on the same page. Let's see how she does. A family intervention. I can write this up for my studies.
Great. We're your class project now.
I'm only joking with you, Dad, but Ma needs something.
Joe, let's surprise Teresa. Tell Granda to stop at the chip van and get us 5 fish suppers. We'll have our tea together, all right?
That's a great idea. Here, I'll call him. Hello, Granda, it's me, Roisin. Aye, I'm back for the weekend. Granny said to go to the chip van on your way home and bring home 5 fish suppers. We're all going to have tea together.
And tell him not to be talking to anyone. I don't want soggy chips.
Aye, Granny said to come right home so tea will be nice and hot. Great. See you then. Bye. That's a great idea, Granny. Here, I'll set the table. Dad, go cut some roses. That will cheer Ma up.
Nothing like a wee get-together. I love it when we're all together.
And you don't have to cook, Granny.
You see, Roisin, when you become a granny, you get a funny finger.
You mean arthritis?
No, it's the magic finger for the microwave. No more peeling the spuds. No more taking hours to making the stew. Hey presto, with my magic finger, the meals are ready in seconds. And sure, your grandad couldn't care less. He would eat the meat off a wagon as long as it was hot.
Geez, Granny, I thought you didn't like newfangled technology. I can't believe you buy prepared food. Never mind, use a microwave.
Listen to me, child. I was tied to the kitchen. You know men retire, but women don't. Still doing everything in the house. If I can free up time, I do it. That's all I have left now, time, and I don't want to waste it. Where would I find the time to go to my AOP classes if I was still slaving over a stove? Nope, it's my time too.
Well, Granny, here I'm learning slow cooking, and you're on the fast lane. Times have changed.
Here, can you sort these out?
See that, Dad? You should be doing this all summer. Nothing like having a man bring you flowers. Even better when you've grown them yourself.
God, they're great. They smell lovely from over here.
Here we are, folks, 5 fish suppers, straight from the chip van.
Da, get the vinegar and the red sauce in the fridge.
Ready also.
What's all the fuss?
Surprise, Mammy. Granda got us all fish suppers. It will save you from cooking.
There's nothing like a fry.
Dad, I thought the doctor told you not to eat fried foods.
For God's sake, Teresa, it's only once in a while. Sure, it'll do him no harm.
Ma, look. Dad put fresh flowers on the table. Aren't they lovely?
Well, that's the best set table I've seen in a long time.
Yes, it's great. Everything looks lovely.
Oh, it's really special having you home, Roisin. Your granny and I miss you so.
I miss you all too, but I love school. I'm so glad to be there.
Well, everyone needs an education today. No more working in the factory. Everything is professional, everyone is so smart, and all this technology.
I know, Granda. I don't even have to go to the library anymore. I can get all my information from the web. It saves loads of time. And everyone is on Facebook too, so you know what's going on.
Hello, Joe. What's new? I see the crack in the front of the house is getting bigger.
Joe went up to see the builder today, didn't you, Joe?
Teresa, let's talk about this later.
What do you mean, Joe? Talk about it now. Did you talk to him? Did you?
No, Teresa, I didn't talk to him.
Joe, you bloody promised. For God's sake, you promised.
Teresa,
Did I tell you I would go up there if you didn't? That's it.
Teresa, I went up there. I talked to the neighbours. He's in Australia. He went bankrupt and he and the family moved.
Oh, that's great. That's bloody great. So we're all left with this mess. That's bloody great.
Now, Teresa, there's no need to raise your voice.
Ma, do you know what this means? It means we can't do a damn thing about this problem. That's what it means. This is incredible. Everyone's riding high on the Celtic Tiger, spending like madmen, and they're filing for bankruptcy. He was responsible for everything. All the woodwork, all the cabinets, the house. I can't believe it.
Come on, Grandad. I think we'd better go. Come on, Roisin. You can come and stay the night with us.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry I mentioned that. I was only trying to have a conversation.
It's okay, Granda. I know you meant well.
At least he's talking about the elephant in the room. Isn't that what they call it in psychology?
I don't know what you're saying, Ma. Calm down.
The bloody elephant in the room. The bloody crack outside that no one wants to talk about. And the crack in here. And now the builder is thousands of miles away, probably lying in the sun, enjoying the money we paid him. And I sit and look at cracks. Cracks in the wall, cracks in the foundations, cracks by the window.
Yeah, and we're watching you cracking up. Enough, Teresa. I've had enough.
Well, you know what, Joe? I've had enough.
That's it. I've had enough. Sorry about this, folks.
Come on, Roisin. We'll eat at my house. Give them both a breather.
Oh, jeez, I'm never going to open my mouth again. God help us.
I'm sure they're both wound up. Bad news is bad news. Let's not the evening be spoiled. After we eat, we can take it for an ice cream and we can sit by the pier. Sounds good, Roisin. Come on, pet. Oh, hello, Manus. You picked the wrong time to drop in.
What's wrong? Where's Joe?
I think he went out to the shed. I'll tell him you're here. But I'm warning you, he's not in good form.
Thanks for tipping me off.
Joe! Joe! Your brother's here!
Hey, Joe, what's the crack?
I was on the shed getting some peace. God, man, I don't know what to do with Teresa. She went off her head. I don't know what to do.
What is it? What's wrong?
This was the last straw.
What? What?
Teresa told me to get a hold of the builder. Made me go up to his house. So I went up looking for him and come to find out that the builder's gone. Gone. Filed for bankruptcy and moved to Australia. I thought he might be able to do something. Or at least be responsible for some of the house problems we're having. You know, Teresa is right. Everything is happening All the woodwork, doors, skirting boards, jambs, everything has cracks in it. It doesn't make any sense. It's like this winter beat the house inside and out. I don't understand it. And now we'll be out money to replace all these things. You think, oh, we're going to have a nice new house, we'll be sorted out, no repairs, everything new, and we're barely in and it's falling apart. You know, it took every penny we had to rub together to make this dream come true, and now it's turned into a nightmare. And we have a £100,000 mortgage to pay. I took every overtime I could get. For what? This headache?
Jeez, Joe, that's awful.
My stomach's in knots, and I never know from one minute to the next how Teresa will be. She's been walking on eggshells, so she has.
Ah, you know, Teresa, she'll come around in time.
Ah, she will, I know. But she's right. This house has been torture. I swear, there should be a blinking red light outside the house, because we've been screwed by everyone. No one cares. And I just don't know how to deal with it all.
Joe, look, I know you've had a bad day, but I've got to give you some more bad news.
Jeez, Manus, someone died. What is it?
I had my lunch today at a pub up in Cairn, and there were a load of workmen talking about houses built up there that have defective blocks. Seems there are loads of new builds with this problem. The boys were telling me that one family had to leave their house. It was so bad the engineers condemned it. It was literally falling down. Apparently the building blocks were made with a high content of mica. Too much mica in the bricks makes them weak. The cold weather and then the thaw, the bricks lose their strength and end up crumbling. One fellow described the bricks like Weetabix. You can just crumble them in your hand.
Oh my God! How can this happen? Surely there's some remedy. I mean, what are they doing? Oh my God.
Look at it. You probably need to talk to some of these people. Everyone's all over the place with this. There are rumours that some people are taking all the blocks off and fixing the outside gable walls. There are rumours that some folk went to the supplier and threatened to sue, and the supplier gave them replacement bricks and made them sign a waiver. There are rumours that people are suing the company, but they're saying it'll probably cost them 30 grand and they'll be tied up in the court for years. And some were saying that the companies have gone out of business so you can't go after them. There's a group of people trying to get the council to look into this. They started a campaign. There were problems down south with pyrite in the mix, and folks down there got their money from the government to fix their houses.
Aye, Teresa just told me about them. Is this the same? Our floors are fine.
No, this is different because it's in the building blocks of the whole house. Pyrite affects the floors for some reason. Anyway, this group's trying to see what they can do.
How could a company do this? How could all this happen?
Greed, Joe. You know yourself, everyone was out for the almighty buck, riding the Celtic tiger. Things got overlooked, corners cut.
It's more like the Celtic jackal. Oh, this is bad. I mean, we're talking about people's homes. My home.
Look, Joe, it's not just you. People are speculating that a lot of houses built during the boom are defective. The council's minimising this, but there's probably 1,000 homes with this problem.
Why haven't we been told about this?
Like I said, the group is working on it. The powers that be aren't taking this on. But like I said, when an engineer tells you you have to leave your house because it's not safe, then that's serious.
Jesus. I don't have the money to fix this. I have one mortgage that I'm paying on.
Here's the thing, Joe. When they set up the pyrite scheme to fix the houses, anyone who fixed their house before the scheme couldn't get reimbursed. So you're better off waiting to see what will happen.
Oh, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's not mica. Maybe it's something else.
Do you remember when we tried to hang the curtain that day? I knew something was wrong. In all my years, I've never had that happen. You've got to get your facts in order. Keep informed with what's going on. Talk to people.
How do you know if it's mica? I mean, how can they tell?
Joe, here's a card that one of the fellas gave me. He had an engineer come out and they took the bricks out of his house and sent them off to Queen's University to be tested. He got a full report. His bricks were loaded with mica. He said it cost him €1,200 for the engineer and the test. If you get the test done, well, at least you'll know what you're dealing with.
€1,200 for a test? Where do they think I'm going to get that? Oh, God. This is going to kill Teresa. I don't know how I'm going to tell her.
Joe, do you want me to stay here with you?
No thanks, Manus. I just know it's going to kill her. Whatever she was thinking, this is worse. I don't know how I'm going to tell her.
Hey, do you want to go for a pint?
Yeah, I could do with the pint. I can't wrap my head around all this. I think I'll stay at closing and tell Teresa in the morning. I think you're the designated driver of the night, Manus.
No bother, Joe.
Well, you had a good night for yourself. Nothing like tying one on to clear the head.
Teresa, will you let me have a cup of tea before you're on to me? For God's sake.
And I suppose I'm going to have to drive you to the pub to pick up your car.
Manus drove. Sure, you always tell me to leave my car and get a lift if I feel a bit altered, as you call it.
And when did you start listening to me?
Teresa, enough with the sarcasm. I need you to be civil.
I'm always civil. For God's sake, Joe.
Listen to me, Teresa. I want you to take a deep breath. I mean, sit down and take a deep breath.
Listen, Joe, I'm sorry about last night. I know you've had it with me and I just lost the plot. I'm sorry, I really am.
Teresa, I've something to tell you.
God, Joe, what did you do? What did you do? Were you off with someone last night? Did you get into a fight? What is it?
Okay, there you go. I need you to be calm, Teresa.
For God's sake, Joe, just blurt it out.
All right, Teresa. I was with Manus last night, and he had been up in Cairn, and, well, there's a whole lot going on about defective building blocks. It seems a lot of people are having the same problem we're having, but it's because they have defective blocks. Since the winter was so bad, every new house is showing signs of cracking.
But how did the blocks get defective? I don't understand.
Look at Teresa. I don't know all the details, but the blocks were made with too much mica in them, so they aren't strong enough. After some wear, they start to crumble and fall apart.
Well, how do we know that that's what's happening to our house?
We can call on an engineer. They'll come out and remove some of the blocks and have them tested.
Well, that sounds like something we should do.
Teresa, it costs €1,200.
What? Jesus, Mary and St. Joseph. There goes the money for our holiday plans.
You know, we can wait and see. Wait it out.
You know, I'm half mad waiting. I want to test it.
You know, we could always just fix up the cracks and sell the house.
Joe, I can't believe what you're saying. I wouldn't pass this nightmare on to someone else. From the get-go, it has been one torture after another. Sell it? Are you out of your mind?
Well, I'm just trying to come up with some alternatives. What Manus told me last night isn't good. Some people have taken out second mortgages to remove all the outer blocks and replace them.
Certainly there has to be some consumer issue here. Who's responsible?
Well, they're saying the block people went out of business and they aren't responsible.
Well, that's ridiculous. Somebody has to be responsible.
There's a group working on getting a scheme up and running, like the Pyrite homeowners. People down in Dublin had their houses fixed. We should get the same. This is no fault of ours. What's so funny?
You know, I told you from the beginning that there was something wrong with this house. All that and you wouldn't listen to me. Well, now you can tell me. I was right all along. I wasn't going off my head.
Teresa, maybe I didn't want to believe you. I couldn't fix it. I didn't know what I was dealing with. I'm sorry.
This must be what it's like when people get diagnosed with something. They know they're sick and everyone says that they're fine. And then when they get a diagnosis, they're relieved to know it, even if it is bad news. I'm relieved, Joe. Am I happy? No. I'm totally outraged. I could scream at the top of my lungs, scream off my head. And that bloody builder, he probably knew all about this and got out dodged as fast as he could. At least we have something to go on now. Know what we're dealing with. Did you get the engineer's name?
Here, I'll call him right now.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Hello, Teresa. Is it safe to come in? I see you both talking.
Look, I have to apologise. I'm sorry I went off my head. I was at breaking point for me.
I'm glad you're feeling better, love.
Daddy, I am so sorry.
Well, sometimes you just have to lift the lid up and let the steam out.
Did you have a nice evening together?
Your dad went out and didn't come home till late. I went to bed.
Did you have a good sleep, Ma?
The best. I can take on the world, so I can.
See, Mammy, you need your sleep.
Look it. All of you sit down. Joe and I need to talk to you. Last night Manus came over and told Joe that there are problems with newly built houses. The houses were built with defective blocks and they are crumbling and falling apart.
Dear God.
For flip's sake.
Let me finish. We've decided to call an engineer and find out if our house has the blocks. At least we'll know for sure.
And so then what happens? What if the house has them blocks? What then?
We'll take it one step at a time. There are other people here who have the same problem, and there's a group working with the council. They're going to have to do something.
Well, what about suing the crooks that built your home? Or the buzzards that made them blocks?
Daddy, don't get upset on yourself.
Oh, I've never heard the like of this. Jesus, this is brutal.
You know, I've been very upset lately. Well, at least I know now what I've been thinking all along. We have a long road in front of us, but I'm not going to let it eat me up. We have to stay positive.
And Joe, you're going to have to do something.
I just did, Granda. The engineer will be out on Tuesday.
And I'll find out about this group and see what's happening.
Well, you'll know where I'll be, up at the church. It's time for a novena.
Oh, Mammy, tell me how I can help. What can I do?
You can go over there and print out everything you can find on mica. And pirate too. You never know. We need to know everything.
Sure, it's only a house. You have your health, and that's what's important.
2018.
I was just listening to the radio. Everyone's calling in about the mica. I can't believe it's been 2 years since you found out you have the mica.
It's like we're in a third world country here.
This fellow was just on talking about how he can't get his house insured and the bank won't give him a loan to fix the house. He had a report from an engineer that it's in danger of falling down. Can you believe that? And he can't get a loan to fix it because it's not worth anything. For crying out loud. We bailed out the banks and them feckers are still getting bonuses while we muckers can't get a break.
I can believe anything. It's worn me down and there's still no answer. I had to shut the radio off. I was ready to call on myself, but I'm afraid of what come out of my mouth.
Are you still in touch with what's going on?
There was a big meeting the other night, but every time I go, my head is splitting whenever I come back. I'm telling you, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. People talking about water coming in their windows and vermin getting in through the cracks. I heard all kinds of things, but it just gnaws at me. You know, the folks down south who had pirate were exempt from paying their property taxes. Some people I talked to say that they didn't pay theirs and they got letters from the government that their wages were being frozen. Can you believe that? Paying property tax on properties that are not worth a quid.
You know, when they aired that TV show, we were in a buzz for months. I thought, this is great. Something will happen. And all that's happened is, they're still talking about it.
One of my workmates' marriage broke up over it. The wife moved back to Strabane. He just walked away from the house, left it lying. Says he doesn't care if it gets repossessed. Let the bank have it. I told him he'd better care about his credit. He's so low. He just doesn't care anymore. It's sad to see him like this.
Sure, the politicians are doing nothing. They keep saying they want to set up a scheme like Pyrite. They have the proof. Every engineer's report was sent to them. What more do they need? And every month there's another article about a family that has to move out, reroute the wings to another school and start over. Thank God Rushing is away. I would have hated to do that to her. And well, our house isn't as bad as some, you see.
Not yet, anyway. But every year as cracks are spreading, it's like whipping on a time bomb. I won't let anyone sit over there for the fear of seeing me falling on their heads.
Oh, God forbid anybody should die because of it.
Well, I'm telling you, it has aged me. Look at the bloody wrinkles on my face.
You still look 16 to me, Teresa.
You're a comic, man. You know life is hard enough without this crap coming down on you. We did everything we could. Saved money for a down payment. Paid our bills.
Yeah, and I get up every morning and go to my work. Isn't that what the hacks are on about? And look what we get. We're in the back arse of the country, so we are. They couldn't care less down in Dublin with their fancy suits, thinking we're all cowboys up here.
Do you know the government hired a public relations company for €8 million? Can you believe that? We could fix a few houses for that money. 8 million? To teach them all how to smile for the cameras.
I can't believe you're still following the news. You always hated politics.
Are you kidding? She's reading every paper and watching the doll online.
Look at Mans. I had to keep informed. Otherwise I'd be looking at these cracks and going off my head. I'm yelling at the politicians, not Joe. What did Russian call it? Displacement. When you're yelling at the wrong person.
But it's become your bloody life. Up in the morning to listen to the radio talk shows till noon, then to the shop for papers, then spend the afternoon reading and watching the doll. You gotta get a life. You used to walk with the girls, go get coffee. Now you're glued to the table.
You go off to your work, go to the pub. This is my outlet. I want to know what's going on.
Something will happen. Sure, there's movement. It won't be long now, I'm sure.
Well, I'm not holding my breath, miss.
Well, there's big doings down at the opening of the new bridge today. I hear the big brass are coming for the event. How come you're not down there, Teresa?
I can't go. I just can't go. I don't trust myself to be near any politicians. I just can't do it. No one wants to make a fuss. Everyone wants things to go smooth. PR, public relations. That's what it's all about. It took years to get someone to do something about the bridge. The same as this mica problem. Years. No one cares about Donegal. We're the dregs of society. But today it will be all shown. I wouldn't be able to hold my tongue. Mummy and Daddy are down there. They wanted me to go down with them, but I couldn't. I just can't. If they wanted a mica crowd, then they'd ask me to go. Maybe I would have gone, but there's no demonstration. It's all about the bridge today. All for the cameras. And that just fires me even more. We're like sheep here. Do what they tell you, make nice, don't ruffle feathers, and you know what's the last straw? The materials used for the bridge was from the same company that made the blocks. Can you believe that? Still doing business, supplying the country while thousands of families like us are living in a nightmare that just goes on and on and on.
You see, Mass, you've got her wound up again.
And you're
God's sake.
And you're not wound up, Joe. Your stomach's in knots and you're eating remedies like they're sweeties. I told you to go to a clinic, but you're that tran, so yeah, you'll end up with a hole in your stomach. Wait and see.
Is that why you haven't been up to the pub? Is something wrong, Joe?
It's not, Mass. A few growls here and there. Teresa's just making a big deal out of nothing.
You've got to watch your health, Joe.
I'm fine. I'll see the doc. Okay? Does that suit you both?
My God, Daddy, are you okay? What's wrong? What's happened?
Give your dad a minute. Let him catch his breath.
What's happened? What's happened?
Sit yourself down, Teresa. He's all right.
All right? All right? He looks like he's seen a ghost.
Get me a cup of Teresa. I'm the one needing something.
For God's sake, Ma, what happened?
Sure, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. So get me that cuppa.
Here. All right, are you okay now?
Thanks, that's fine. All right.
Will the two of you catch yourselves on? What the hell's wrong?
Well, so, we were at the opening of the new bridge, and there's all sorts of hoopla going on. A big ribbon for that head honcho, he is cutting, and the band playing, all the flags are waving, and the politicians are smiling like they've just come from the dentist, shaking hands and smiling at each other, like them was the ones that built the bridge, and they're all patting each other on the back and shaking hands. And your man is just ready to give his speech when your dad holds up a plastic bag with one of them mica blocks in it and yells, "What about the bricks?" Well, you'd think we were on a crime scene telly show. A crowd of guards circled your dad and carried him away. And he's yelling, "What about the bricks? What about the bricks? Do something, do something."
Oh, what? Oh my God. Oh my God.
They threw your father into a patrol car and fled off. It was like a SWAT team, so it was. Men in suits with ear cords around their necks, talking to the wind. The place went silent for about 3 minutes. Everyone was in shock. My head was reeling, so it was. Everything happened so fast. I couldn't believe it. I went over to that young Tom Crowley, the guard, who knows your granny, and said to him, "That's my husband. He's not well, you know. You've got to take me down to the station." So the next thing I know, I'm in the back of a patrol car, being whizzed down to the station, praying that your dad would be still alive. All I could think of was his heart.
Oh my God, Daddy, what were you thinking?
Give him rest, Teresa. He was thinking of you and Joe. That's what he was thinking. He brought one of them bricks to show the Dublin ones, except the clowns of guards thought he was going to throw it. For God's sake, he was just holding it up. He didn't throw it, but no, they grabbed your dad so fast and that they think he has a bomb because they can feel a lump of his pacemaker. I'm telling you, them people are too tightly wound up. Well, your dad was so startled, no words would come out of him, and I was in shock, so I was. It was like a tornado.
Boy, that must have been some sight.
Everyone was stunned. The crowd went all quiet. And then, just like that, as they just carried on as like nothing had happened.
What did they do to you down at the station, Dad?
I'll tell the story, Teresa. Your dad's in no condition to be getting wound up to high-do. Seamus Byrne was on the desk, and he knows your dad. So, he says, "All right, fellas, what are you doing bringing this good man in here?" And they tell him he was going to throw a brick at your man. And of course, Seamus, knowing your dad for donkey's years, so he says, "Right, and where is this brick you're talking about?" And the young copper goes out to get the brick from the car and drops it. And well, it crumbles into dirt. As we all know, this ain't bricks at all. So Seamus says to the young fella, "Look I don't think it's going to look good to see a headline in the papers that a pensioner throws a bag of dirt at an event. The man's had a heart attack, and sure, I don't want to hold anyone here who might just bite the dust on my watch. Now let him go and get himself home." Well, that wasn't enough, for the youngster has started yelling, "It's not protocol, it's not protocol. It needs to be tested. It could be Samtex or something." Jesus, them young fellas watch too much telly, so they do. So I said to him, "Look here, young fella. The bricks have been tested to the tune of €1,200 up in Queen's University, and I can tell you what's in them. Bloody mica, 35% mica." Now they all think I'm sort of kind of a genius, talking minerals and chemicals, so I am. And I said to that young fella, "My husband has a bad heart, and so help me if you kill him with all this carry-on. And well, you won't be wearing that uniform for long, so you won't." And I said, "Give me your badge number, because I seen that on the Line of Duty series." And well, he just backed right off. And the poor dad was about ready to pass out. And Seamus Byrne could see that. But no, the young one keeps it up. He says he's inciting a riot. You need to book him, he says. Seamus looked at me, because he knows your dad isn't fit to talk. And I say, he held up a brick and said, what about the brick? And Seamus says, is that all? And I say, yeah. All he did was say that. And then ones came flying after him. The young one says, he said, what about that? Can you believe that? Thinking your dad would say something like that? And I said to him, the young one, you might be young, but you're hearing shot. He said, what about the brick? The brick, you idiot. What do you mean? What do you think he was holding up? Well, that young one goes so red. Seamus Byrne could hardly contain himself. And I said to him, well. Now, won't that look fine on a complaint to Charlie Flanagan? You've got a guard who can't hear proper. Now, Seamus is just waiting to get us out of the station as fast as he can and says, I'm going to call a cab to take you home. Will you both go home and stay there? And I say, surely to God, you know we will.
Well, my God, you couldn't write this stuff. Dad, you could have had another heart attack, for goodness sake.
We was only thinking of you and Joe and what these politicians have been putting you through. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. They have you and us tortured with their false promises. Your dad just wanted to show them the bloody brick and how it crumbles in your hand. And the whole house built on that. It's a bloody disgrace. Them brown envelopes just been passed around while we folks are scraping the barrel night and day to get by. Them big brass won't be forgetting this opening of the bridge for a long time, I can tell you that.
I don't think any of us will forget this. I'm putting a ban on this house. There will be no talk of mica for 2 weeks. Anyone who says anything about mica will pay a fine of £10. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
January 2019.
Will you look at this? I can't believe it. 16 schools in Dublin are defective. They have to close the schools and bus the children to other schools. I can't believe it. Something about they didn't secure the inner and outer ties in the building and they're coming apart. Oh my God. That couldn't just happen overnight. Oh boy. You know this government is trying to pull a fast one on us.
What are you talking about?
Do you think any principal worth their weight would allow that to happen? I bet you they were screaming their heads off for months trying to get someone to fix the schools before there was a death. See, it's the government. They couldn't care less about the children going to dangerous schools.
And living in dangerous houses.
You got that right, Boyle. Apparently they have 250 contractors ready to go to repair the schools immediately. Well, isn't that interesting? We're waiting years and they can't get themselves together to sort out the mica problem. But 250 contractors working the weekend. How does that happen? And now they are talking about having a paid government manager on every new building site. Someone to watch over the builders. Can you believe that? Builders who are supposed to be building fit for a purpose school. No one was checking. No one was checking that things were proper. God, what is this country coming to?
Who was the builder? Did they name names? You know, everyone is in everyone's pocket. It's not a green country anymore. It's a greed country.
They said it was the same contractors for all 16 schools. And listen to this. Contractors can continue to put bids in for other contracts. Unless there is a criminal complaint, companies can continue to put in bids and get them.
So where is endangering lives not criminal? What if something happened?
Something did happen in Scotland. A whole chunk of a wall fell from the second floor. All because they didn't tie the walls properly.
Ah, so that's why your man can continue to make blocks. No one has charged him for anything criminal.
No one can go after him because the company has changed hands so much.
You know, Flakes McAleer worked for them, and he said that every year there was a different company name on his paycheck. That's the way they do it. Avoid liability.
You know the saying, them's with money knows. You wonder how people sleep at night.
I know how you sleep now. with a tablet from the doctor. People don't care. They have no conscience.
You know, this is all very interesting. Do you remember how last week the talk was all about doctors and nurses not taking time during the holiday season? Now I see, it was all roast. It was just deflecting. That's another term I learned from Roisin, deflecting. That was all to distract the media. Get them all tied in a knot about the medical profession. Distract us. That was pure design, so it was. 16 defective schools. You know how many children are affected by that? They were on this like maggots on a piece of dung. Son of a gun. The government fooled us again. While everyone was focused on the good hard work of doctors and nurses, the PR people were covering this up. It feels like an episode of House of Cards. God, we are just sheep, aren't we? Believing everything they want us to believe. Going on, saying nothing.
You know, Teresa, I wouldn't be telling anyone that.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. It all seems a bit far-fetched.
You know, Joe, you can think what you want, but believe you me, they have us all fooled. Look at the joke the water charges were. They just thought, okay, we're going to put meters in and charge everyone for water. But you know what people saw right through that? That there would be no end to it. All those people who demonstrated and all those people who didn't pay. That was what worked. We can't let the government just shove things down our throats and think we'll take it.
Oh, we're not kids anymore, Teresa. I don't know. I just don't have the energy like you do to get in your high horse. I'm worn out, so I am. I just want the bloody house fixed.
I do too, Joe. I have faith it will happen.
In our lifetime? I'm beginning to think not.
Well, we still have a roof over our house. At least that's more than some others. And we're supposed to get news next week. The news we were supposed to get back in September. That's got postponed again. The TDs here were pushing on the dial. It won't happen. We just have to wait.
May 2019.
I can't believe you finished school, Roisin. It seems like we were just driving you off to Dublin.
Maybe you and Dad will come down and spend some time with me. It'll be good for you to get away. You know you haven't been down since you came to Dublin for that parents' weekend. God, what was that? 3 years ago?
You know, Roisin, we just don't know what's going to happen here. The cracks are getting worse. We're in limbo. If we fix them, we might not get reimbursed. We don't know if fixing them will work. We just don't know. So we wait and wait. This winter was so bad again. The cracks outside have tripled and now we are getting drafts in all the windows because of the spaces. Our heating bills are through the ceiling this year. We'd love to come down. Of course we would. We'll try. How's that? I promise you we'll try.
You know, you and I used to be so easygoing, always doing things together, going here and going there. This whole house thing has taken its toll on you. Maybe it's time to do something.
Like what? Like what? For God's sake, we are trying our hardest.
I don't know, just walk away. Go rent somewhere.
Dear God, Roisin, we have responsibilities. We still owe the bank. Where are we going to go? Do you think we can just rent somewhere? And where are we going to get the money to do that? You damn me, we've been talking about whether or not we should just call the engineer back. See what they say. If it's okay to stay here and we know whatever he says is going to cost us. It's €300 just to get him out here. People are spending thousands to fix their gable walls. And that's just one side of the house. We don't know if the house will be knocked down or rebuilt or every block replaced. I've been emptying out closets and packing things. We'll probably have to move out sometime.
I'm just saying, maybe you need to plan something before you're forced to do it and settle for something that might be worse.
What could be worse than this?
You know, Mammy, I worry about you too. Every time I hear a yellow weather alert for Donegal, I'm saying my prayers you two will be okay.
Well, you're not the only one doing that. Your granny's lights her whole altar at them nights. She lights candles for us day and night, If prayers could do it, this house would be fixed. But we're waiting on the government, not God, to give us this miracle. God made the earth in 7 days. It takes the government years to think about what to do.
I've got the newspaper. The government put the money through. It's going to happen.
But the...
What, Mammy? Read it to us.
It just says here that they were putting 20 million aside for this year to fix the houses. Jesus, that's nothing. And we're talking about 4,000 houses may be affected. And you know that the council will gobble up their share for the mica houses they have. But let me remind you that years ago they said that there was no mica in their social housing. And what's going to happen next year? We'll have to do battle every year to keep the money coming. Dear God. And get this. Joe, guess who's going to manage the money? The council, for God's sake. And what? And homeowners are going to have to pay 10% of the cost of the repairs? What the bloody hell? This wait for years and to come down to this? I don't believe it.
Oh, I thought you'd be happy, Teresa. Finally something.
Happy? How could I be happy? This is them throwing the dog a bone. That's what this is. They'll have worn us down with their promises every bloody 6 months, I swear. Promises every house will be finished, will be given engineer's approval, will be insurable, and then this. This is a bone. And now what? I'm supposed to be happy with these scraps from Dublin?
Go easy, Teresa. It's a start, so it is.
A start. A start. Where the heck do you think we'll be on this list? You know we've seen worse houses, families with small children. We'll be waiting forever. Where will we get the money to pay the 10%? And what about equality? Why are we being treated differently than the pirate people who were covering 100% and didn't have to pay their property taxes until the houses were fixed? Where is the justice in that? Here we go again. Our politicians have sold us down the river again. I'm telling you, it's a strategy this whole country has adopted. Wear them out, wear them down, and then throw them a bone and they'll come lapping. Well, this lady here ain't for lapping.
Hi, Teresa and Joe. We heard the great news and we rushed right over.
Well, you can stop rushing, 'cause it's crap news, so it is. We'll be waiting forever.
Well, I guess I'll just have to keep making novenas to St. Jude.
Well, them scutters, and right before the election. Do they really think the people in Donegal are stupid? We can see right through them. Just a big election ploy to put them boys back into government and leave them continue to muck up the country. They're cute whores, so they are. They know everything is worn out with Brexit. And here we go again, not a care in the world for anyone beyond the pale. Up here, we learn nothing and forget everything. Things don't change, it's all the same. We're in no man's land on the border. When Brexit happens, it will start all over again, you watch. Dublin will just close their eyes to everything up here. Wait. Just wait.